Oh, John did good. Well, call the meeting to order. First thing is stand for the pledge of allegiance, remain standing for a moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everybody. Okay, additions or additions to the agenda. If not, somebody make a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve.
Someone second.
I'll second it.
John made it. Scott seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Any corrections to that or additions?
I didn't see anything.
Look pretty good. Somebody want to make a motion to approve those?
Minutes from last meeting.
Someone second.
No second.
Amy second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Approval of the bills, checks from 18,405 to 18,419, electronic transfer from 56812E to 556,824E. And the second payroll was 500,156 to 500,159. Everything's all right there. Somebody make a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Someone second.
I'll second it.
John made it. Scott second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Community comment? Anybody with anything? Like we're pretty good there. Sheriff's Department, we had 71 hours of direct patrol, assist, parking violation, paper service, suspicious circumstance, harassment, restraining order, assist fire, welfare check, and trespassing. Anybody else with anything about Sheriff's Department?
Mhm.
Yeah, 71 hours. Do they keep a log?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They do, that we would have a right to see, okay.
They've been hanging out over there. I see a lot there when the kids are getting on the bus there in the morning. So I think that's just great.
That is great.
Yep. And I don't know if they go down here. I'm sure they must maybe follow the bus a little bit down to the other location.
I'll see them out in the morning sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's fine.
Mhm.
All right, fire department, anything from Chief Clammer?
Must not have gotten it to Sue in time.
Okay, street updates?
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that had a hand in helping out during that blizzard. We had a good crew out there. We had Race helped, Ellen Geezy helped, me, Robert helped. A lot of people had their hands on that and it turned out pretty good, I think. I mean, perfect, no, but in the end, that was a pretty big blizzard and we got the streets open right away and, you know, can't make everyone happy, but I think we did all right.
Yeah.
Other than that, the only thing I was gonna talk about tonight was, I've started a work order process where I made a template with check boxes where you don't have to print it out. You can take and, click it with the mouse and it checks the boxes for, I wish I would have brought one with. I think Sue was going to, but, it's for when somebody comes up with a concern or a job that thinks the city staff needs to take care of. And then there's a checkbox where there's streets, parks, you know, different things. And then it has comment section and timeline and then completion and completed by. It's a paper trail for things that maybe we're kind of lost in the mix before. For instance, today was a good example. I showed Kellen how to do it. And somebody had asked him to fill some potholes on Hillard Drive with a citizen that asked him. In the future, we're gonna try to steer those people through Sue so that, you know, take your complaints and stuff to her. And then she can issue, she's already sent me 3-4 work orders via email to the city shop that I've taken care of and emailed back. And then I'm keeping archive down there and she's keeping an archive of them up here. So that, you know, we can go back and say, yeah, we addressed that back on that date and here's the proof that it was done.
Yeah, definitely.
Different things like that. So it's gonna kind of streamline. It's got 4 check marks across the top. One is for approval. So one is approved by city council, approved by the mayor, approved by clerk, or approved by city staff. So if it's something that's really important and you need to take it to the council, we can check that box after you guys approve it, if it's a dollar item or something that takes a little bit more work. But for no brainers like filling potholes, the city staff can do that and then just submit it. And it kind of accounts for your time, materials. So now if somebody said, hey, where'd all that gravel go? Well,
Exactly.
we took 3 scoops down to Hillard Drive.
The hill.
Yep.
yeah.
So anyway, we've got that going and I've been kind of modifying it as I go along to make it a little bit better and
Mhm.
easier. So
It's a good idea.
yeah, that'll help Eli when he gets on board too, because he can look back and see jobs we already did and things and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, Brian showed me that and it's pretty, really good,
yeah,
It's a good idea.
very
it'll
good.
be good going forward.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really don't have too much. The new sander worked miraculously. That was really a blessing. We went out and did, I think I did Hillard Hill 2 or 3 times. And Chapel Hill and Willard Hill and just go down there and hit the button and lay that red rock down. The stop sign right over here on the next street down, that always gets icy. I went by there once a day and put grit down there and it's slick. So thank you for that too. That's all I have.
I'd like to thank you and Kellen and Race, especially, he didn't have to do that.
Yep.
And you too, Robert, because that was a lot of snow and that was a bugger to get through.
Yeah, heavy.
Heavy
Very
wet,
heavy.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd like to thank Race too for coming in volunteering. That was, or why I didn't volunteer. I mean, coming in and help because I got up, I left my house at 3:45 that morning and I never got back till 8 o'clock at night. And I took like 35 minutes off for dinner.
Yeah, and then
And then I widened streets and then I went back down at the alley at the end of, behind John Lillis and that other one. That snow was as deep as that bookcase, at least as long as this room, and I sat and bucketed it out of there. The poor guy was out there with his snow blower trying to get out.
It was heavy and.
At 7 o'clock at night. I said, well, I'll help you, man. I went in there with the truck earlier and I thought, well, I am not gonna get through there with this, so. And anyway, yeah, I'm glad Race came on board because he was here for what, 4, 5 hours?
4 hours.
Yeah.
And it worked out just slick because I got mine done, then I jumped in it and
Yeah.
he kept the other truck going and
Funny
yeah.
part was I couldn't get out of my house, that big hill that goes up the township road. I got 3/4 of the way up and spun back down and so called Robert and Race came out with the plow truck and got me so that I could plow.
Mhm.
So everybody had a hand. Reminded me of that picture down there at the restaurant of the snow down Main Street where it's, so, and everybody's out there shoveling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
All right, that's all I got.
all in all, it came out really good, so.
Yeah.
All right, that was street update, water sewer, Brian?
I don't have anything.
You're doing a wonderful job organizing, cleaning the shop. It continues on. He's made miraculous forward steps. Organizing, just having it nice when somebody comes on board. So thank you for that very much.
You're welcome.
One quick thing with that, have you had any luck with the 1 meters that were they're frozen or not functional or?
No, so the one that's on this end of town, the homeowner will not get a plumber to freeze it to replace the meter so that we can just move on with life. We're gonna probably end up digging up the curb stop and replacing it, which is gonna mean the sidewalk's gonna have to get notched out of there. It's gonna be a big deal, so. When the frost is out of the ground here next month, we'll probably just have to do that. And then we're gonna have to say your water will be shut until you can replace that meter or replace that pipe before, the valve before the meter froze and cracked.
Yeah.
So you can't shut it off.
And it's costing the city. We're
Yeah.
pumping water going
That's what I
into
was
the ground.
meaning, month after month here now.
And then
There's
the other
nothing-
resident apparently they claim that they're not here, that they're up in Duluth and whatnot and that they're remodeling the inside of that house and they intend to move the meter to the inside somewhere.
Is there usage?
But
Is there usage? That,
can't tell, the meters.
oh, that's right, that's frozen one.
So there are 2 in town that are still an issue. So,
How about the other one that had a frozen line right in, coming into town? Did that get operational?
no, he called me 2 days ago. One guy plumbing was out there. I don't know if he got it or not or did anything, but I read meters today. And, there was still a red triangle by those two houses that there wasn't any flow, so.
That happened on a Sunday of a week ago, I believe,
Warm Sunday, like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. There's two individuals that have lines, pretty much private lines for what, a couple hundred feet?
Yeah, long
They
service
don't have water right now. Well, it's off the main.
after the curb stop.
After the curb stop, so it,
It's kind of theirs.
it's kind of theirs, yes.
I've talked to him, he's pretty cooperative and nice and I've been trying to keep him. Giving him ideas of things like he could try and,
Years ago, they used to hook a welder on it,
yeah,
one end to the other,
yeah.
and let it warm up. But I don't know if they do that anymore or
I
not.
feel bad for him because he
The welder probably doesn't work anymore if
he
it's.
told me he's getting tired of using a pail.
Well, I bet, yeah.
I would be.
I was gonna suggest, has he ever tried just wrapping it around where it comes in the house there,
Yeah.
that could be froze right there?
I didn't mention that to him, but I'm sure one guy did.
Yeah,
So that curb stop at whatever end, the curb stop's bad.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, the house on, what street that is down there?
Holiday.
Holiday. So, yeah,
And I think we'll find another number of them that are bad. That we just simply gotta dig up and repair. They're old,
yeah, this is one of those that has the
stem in it.
stem inside and now the end of my tool is stuck in there too.
The curb stops.
Yeah,
I think we need to probably make that a priority this summer.
yeah. Have, if we get a new individual, have them go and, maybe there's a note somewhere that ones that do and do not work already, but just get a half a dozen of them and fix them in a couple days and a month or so later, do some more and just get them up.
Yeah.
Because the worst of it is, if it ever goes to heck and they need the water shut off in January, you're not gonna get nothing done. That's
And
the,
that, those two houses down there, they're teed off after the curb stop. It's another goopy
yeah,
where there's not, and same thing with the house over here that has the frozen meter. That also has two houses after the curb stop, so you can't threaten to shut the water off because you're shutting two people off,
yeah.
so,
Wow.
yeah.
All right, that's it for water and sewer, unfinished business. Maintenance supervisor position, have we heard?
I didn't really bother Sue too much today, so I'm not sure.
From,
She was checking on, and I think it will go on to. Also, like under new business, life and disability insurance.
Yep,
Our personnel policy says that the city provides that. Eminent Insurance says, well, we don't have it in our policy and it's nothing that the league offers. So I think we'll probably need to table both of those so we can have Sue to give everything she's found out about it.
usually, work comp,
Not
policy has a small life insurance policy on it.
This isn't workers' comp. This is.
No, I mean, it has it for a life, policy. Cause you're talking if somebody lost their life here, right?
No, I think it's a standard life insurance policy and the disability insurance. Our personnel policy says that the city provides it, but according to Eminent Insurance, those are two things that the league and Minnesota cities does not provide. So we're gonna have to investigate what that discrepancy is. And I know Stu has information on it, but I can't decide.
I emailed back a couple, but there wasn't number that. That did.
To me, it seems like it's work related. If you were working here and you got disabled.
Yep.
Your workman cover that person.
Workers' comp will cover some stuff.
Some stuff. There is such a thing as long-term and short-term disability, all in wording, we'd need
Yeah, because workers' comp is only gonna cover the medical costs related.
we need a clarification of what our policy supposed.
Do you think we
covers.
can do anything about that, or is that should not even be in there?
When Sue initially talked to me, I had told her check with M&M Insurance, and all I know is they came back that they don't have it because the league doesn't. So I don't know if she's found out anything more.
Okay,
So both of those we probably should just table till next month.
all right.
Eli did ride along in the plow truck with Race, and Ray showed him where he puts piles and kind of learned the system a little bit that day too.
Yeah. Okay. Dakota Mart. I see there was one thing here wrote up.
Yeah, what was?
In the notes,
They're going
Um,
forward.
On 4/3/25.
yeah,
The second page is behind the
yeah, in the
agenda.
That's all, that's the only update she has. I don't know if we, how much of that we should actually
Right.
discuss in public
Right.
too.
Yeah, okay. Well, we make note of it anyway. Spring cleanup.
Curbside will be on Saturday. Roll off, drop Thursday, can pick back up on Saturday or Monday. It can be inside the building. I know we talked about that last month. That's something we want to pursue. Might be a good idea to get overnight dumpers.
Well, yeah, because you know, you could shut that door, you know, at the end of the day, and that wouldn't be bad at all.
Would be an inconvenience for Brian or whoever, you know, is in the city position at the time, but
One thing about, we have them cameras up there too, and you know, even if somebody's, oh, I know there's a dumpster in there and they put a pile outside, that will help deter that. Well,
Yeah,
we know who did it.
Mhm.
yeah.
Are we gonna try to do this like a couple, 3 times during the summer? Myself, if we could have one right away in April, you know?
I think we talked about doing it at least 3 times.
Yeah.
didn't
Yep.
Yeah.
Then when we have one, let's say if we have one in April, we have one in July and then, or August, and then have one at October, end of October, you know, so it gives opportunities to clean up your property.
If we're gonna do it in April, we probably gotta get a mailing out ASAP, because it's
Yeah.
already March 10th
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
That's right, yeah. Well, we could do it, you know, the 3rd, 4th week of April, but yeah.
We can make some up and put it in this coming month's water bill. We'll go out with.
That goes out right away in the 1st or, don't
You
they?
know,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
So do we have to consult with them though again on a specific day probably?
Well, we'll have to let them know whatever.
Yeah,
But, and probably based on what their workload is too.
so it would be either the 5th, 12th, 19th or the 26th of April.
So you said the water bill goes out the first week,
Pretty close.
Probably the 19th or 26th would be.
Yeah.
so then you're gonna give them a couple week notice of heads up and
that way the garbage company,
then do it.
Easter weekend is the 19th,
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that's bad.
well, we wouldn't do it then.
but we could shoot for the last weekend.
I think so, yeah.
26th?
Earlier,
26th,
April,
yeah.
we could still end up with a snowstorm the way it's been going.
That's right.
For past previous Aprils.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we should try to shoot for that
Tentatively,
tentatively, yep,
April 26th?
yep.
or if we do the Thursday through Saturday, 24 through 26.
Yep. And would we have the curbside on the same or
I think start with the
dumpster?
dumpster first and then wait for maybe June for it to see if they can do the curbside.
Okay, yeah. We're making every effort to help people clean up their yards,
yeah.
you know? That's all we can do is try and help. And hopefully they'll do the best to make things look better. Okay, remodel City Hall. I don't know if Sue has talked to anybody. I know I didn't get nobody to talk to in the last 30 days, so. But is our plan to go ahead, right? We made Kelvin, the individual is gonna make a spec sheet for us, so. when we have somebody come in, it was all gonna be apples to apples, right?
Yep.
Was Calvin notified?
No, I didn't, I don't know.
Okay.
We'll have to get going on that.
Okay.
All right, Excel franchise agreement, looks like it says it has to be in the Northern States Power, which it is, right? Doing business as.
Yeah, and there's a resolution in there.
Yep.
Number 35B.
Yep.
To me, all of that looked pretty standard stuff.
How long does this run for?
20 years.
20 years? Okay. With nobody else with any questions, somebody want to make a motion then to pass resolution 35B, electrical franchise ordinance?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Someone a second?
I can second that.
Jim seconded, John made it, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carried. Ordinance, administrative fees. I don't know, it's a way of putting a little teeth into our ordinances, I suppose, is what it's basically about. But it's gonna be hard to enforce.
It'll be very hard to enforce.
Yep. That's why we're making these dumpsters and this curbside more available, which should help out individuals.
Little or no reason for.
But we still, that won't help any of these properties that have 8, 9, and 10 cars on them, which is in violation of the ordinance.
Yes.
So I mean, will the sheriff,
We gotta find out what it takes from them in order to get some action.
I had a question too, is could the sheriff, there's a couple cars, there's one by the post office that hasn't moved in months. Could they come mark the tires and maybe the people will see them mark the tires and move them? Cause they haven't, we had to plow all around that
oh yeah. Yeah.
one that's full of garbage.
There's some on the north end of town that are sitting in the street right away that.
Public street.
Yep.
Have never moved.
That hinder snow removal also.
Seems like we asked the sheriff once when they were here a while ago. Sounds like they can only act, if I remember right, if tags are expired, then they can. But I think if tags are current, but we can have Sue follow up.
How,
I thought there was an
I don't
ordinance.
know if we had an ordinance that they had to be moved every 48 hours or,
on the street,
yeah.
It's that way with,
yeah, that's in the street,
you
yeah.
know, like you're the one you're talking about by the post office.
Yeah,
Okay, if we have an ordinance about a camper, why don't we have an ordinance about a car sitting there with full of garbage? Who knows about their tags? Again, it's in the way, it's more than, I don't know what 48 hours is
might just take digging into the ordinance. There might be one that says that.
we gotta create something that's got some damn teeth,
Might have to
yeah.
create Something, yeah.
Or I didn't mean to take you off track.
No, it's just,
Well, there's another issue too about down by the,
What about vehicles parked in yards?
well, yeah,
They don't have to have up-to-date tags?
yes, they do.
supposed to,
Yeah, insurance and tags.
yeah.
But we have to tell the sheriff doesn't take it upon themselves to be like,
Well, how does that work with, we're supposed to get a complaint, right? We are not supposed to do it as council.
Yeah.
Somebody is supposed to come in and tell Sue, hey,
Oh,
John Doe has 7 cars and no tags on them. Cause we can't, the way I take it now, we aren't supposed to do that.
Right, because the sheriff won't go on private property to remove either.
well, that should be on the new website or, I mean, that information should be spread out to people, cause like, you know, you just hear people mumbling like, oh, that's trashy. I wonder why the city council doesn't do anything
Yeah,
about that.
It's always
So if
that.
it's on the website and says, in order to make progress, you have to make a complaint. I don't know, something should be worded so people know the steps and how things are accomplished.
Yeah, I just got told that at coffee last Saturday again. Well, nothing's gonna happen anyway. Nothing ever does, just gets talked about, just gets sitting there. I said, well, maybe we're all a little sick and tired of hearing about how nothing gets done, because we gotta get something that's got some teeth, get some teeth into these reports. And
Well, when you hear that, then you have to spread the word, like, well, somebody will have.
I did.
Complain.
well, I told him,
Okay,
says complain, just don't complain to me. You complain to
Exactly.
everybody.
exactly.
Yeah.
Said the more complaints you hear, the more action that can be done.
And not just.
That's kind of where I
Complaints have
left
to
it.
be-
They gotta be filed.
Just-
They gotta not just send.
Yeah.
Written.
Yep. Well, that's what I said, start right here. That's where it starts.
And just getting off track just a little bit there, going back to snow. Can the church post their sidewalk for Sunday morning services that keep a resident from parking in front of the church during that church service hours? You know, what happened was a couple weeks ago, plowed streets, that was on that Saturday, Jason and I did it, plowed streets, we cleaned it up in front of the church, broomed it clean for the elderly to get into the church, you know. 3 cars got parked end to end in front of the church steps
On the church side or
on the church side. And they sat there until what, Monday?
Wow.
It's very rude.
That's very.
It was actually happened last Sunday too.
So,
Not 3, but
right, I
Yeah.
seen that. So how, an individual asked me how that can be handled, because I mean, the point of having it nice and clean was for the
Church service,
church service.
and the elderly to get in and out.
You
Well,
know,
I heard somebody talk to me about that same thing, but I thought it was on the opposite
West
side of the
side.
church.
yeah.
Don't we have diagonal parking lines?
well, there's no lines, it's diagonal
They just
in
did.
front of the church, but these were end to end.
Maybe we need to line it with diagonal parking, because that's, everybody diagonal parks for
Yep.
church and funerals up there, right?
Yeah, but again, how can we help the church keep that entrance open for, say, the ones that are,
they can put up their own signs. They can put no, I mean,
suppose on a Sunday morning, they could go, you know, but if they park them Saturday night or they park them Friday.
then who's gonna give them a ticket?
Well, is there handicap parking on that, or is that on the,
I think they have that on the very
That's on the part.
south side by the ramp, don't they?
Yeah,
I believe so. There's a portable sign there for that, I believe.
I would say the easiest way to fix that is this summer, let's stripe it and put diagonal parking, both sides of the street on both sides of the church.
probably. is
Either-
the
The
easiest
street's
way.
wide enough to handle it.
Either that or do we let our liaison inform the individual
Yeah,
that, hey,
For courtesy
should
reasons.
anyway.
It is a courtesy, but I don't know who's doing it.
I don't either, don't really care, that's rude.
I know.
I mean, it's just. It sure defeated the purpose. I mean, 3 vehicles
I
took
think
up
they
quite an area
had
for
a-
church parking.
Off, a lot of people drive by and think.
So, I mean, would it be better off, and we're probably done this year for it. But again, in the future, you know,
Well, not really. There was no snow and no reason to be parked there last Sunday and they did too.
yeah, I mean,
It blocks up a lot of parking for the
well, the
elderly.
individual has parking on the south side
Yes,
of their block.
yeah.
It went around that.
It's like it was done on purpose.
Well, there's a lot of things that happen on purpose.
Because I mean, that was a Saturday, Jason and I, we plowed for 2 hours together, so we gave 4 hours. And there was no attempt to move them cars. It's like a statement. You didn't come back after we moved our cars. We were done for the day. You know, if you wanna have it cleaned and you see us running around out there, do it while we're running around.
Yeah,
3 hours after we're done,
Mhm.
because we're not gonna go do it again,
no,
you know? So,
I made a note to have Sue, maybe she can check with the liaison, see if there's anything we can do.
Yeah.
right across my church.
Thank you.
If not that, then we can reach out to Kennedy.
About why They're,
Yeah, maybe that
I
would be,
mean,
a-
a church can post their own signs if they want to.
Oh, I
Or
saw
if they
that.
have
on
to,
the
worst
thing.
case
That's her.
scenario, you know.
Yeah.
It is still, it's not, the street is the city's, yeah.
it's a public street, but being courteous
yeah,
Common
to
sense.
the people on Sunday morning would be the number one priority.
It's common sense.
Yes. All right, we backed that up. Where were we? Down to ordinance administrative fees. Or were we farther than that? We were farther than that, weren't we?
Yeah, we're under new business, I think now.
Yep. So, the website,
So, Sue's been working on a new website that's much more user friendly. What she didn't know at the time when she did that is when I was filling in, I think it was 23. Yeah, when I was filling in, a contract came due for the old website. So we are still bound to pay that off for another 2.5 years, I think.
I think
So
that's written in here
they
somewhere.
won't let us out. But we've already committed to the new website. So, it was one of those things when we were going through that big transition period and that contract had to be renewed. The new one is much better. It'll be paid, but we're gonna pay for two for a
it's a
little.
different company.
Totally different company,
we'd be doubled up there for 2 years.
basically. But it's supposed to be going online. I haven't talked to her about it, so I don't know any more specifics than that, but. She's pleased with it. I know that I've talked to her about it, so.
Doubled up for 3 years. 3 more years, right?
That it was signed 7/5/23.
Oh, it was a 5-year contract. Oh,
5-year
yeah.
contract.
Yeah, it's gonna be 3 more years.
And that amount is
Yeah,
for both
46.
of them.
No, that's just for the old one. She has talked to them a couple times and they won't budge.
How much would the new one cost to get up and going?
That I don't know. I don't know what it was. I think they were a lot cheaper.
That's a bummer. They have such long contracts. I mean, 5 years?
Especially if it's not adequate.
That's how they get people.
Yeah. That's how you should know it's bad if they lock you in that long.
You know,
Yeah.
2 years I can see, but 5 years, dang.
Well, we'll have to just see how it goes moving forward.
Yeah.
And we're locked in, we're locked in. We do have 2 other resolutions though.
Yeah, Sue said, the auditors pointed out that we did make a motion, we've done it the past 2 years on authorizing her to make payments up to $3,500. That's the second one. They also pointed out that we need to have one that, a resolution for us to use EFT and ACH payments, which we've been using for years. And a lot of our payments to the city come in on ACH and then, payments go on EFT. So that's all this resolution is doing, just making it official.
Yeah, okay, official, yeah.
And continuing on what we're already doing, yeah.
Right.
Any questions then on resolution 2025-01 or 2025-02?
I'll make a motion to approve with a correction to be made on where it says, whereas the city of God, change God to good.
Yeah, I see there was God in there. That's
Okay,
God thunder.
got done. Okay, John made a motion to approve resolutions 2025-01 and 2025-02. Someone second?
I'll second it.
Got seconded, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried. Okay, now. Email utility bills, is that part of that? No, what's that got to do with?
I do not know. We'll have to table that when Sue can talk about it. I know it would be a good idea if we could do it, especially now that we've gone to monthly billing.
Yeah.
It would save on postage. and-
Yeah, because you know, you add that up, that postage is gonna add up. And besides all the time,
Ridiculous, huh?
Yeah,
you know, there's,
And how
I
long
wonder
it
what it
takes.
takes Sue to put them out each month.
Couple hours, I think is what she said last, because one of the times I visited her over the last month, she was
Yeah.
folding and stuffing.
I suppose she gets a little better at it each month because things just
Yeah.
get smoother. But yeah,
She had mentioned it, but I have no idea what the, or don't remember what it is on emailing, but it'd be a great idea if people want to opt into that, so we don't send a paper bill, we just email them the bill at the end of the month.
would that be basically the receipt then, or would that be the bill?
That'd be the bill,
Okay,
and then the receipt, whether they come in and pay or if they just mail a check.
but I mean, if they have it set up to draw out of their personal checking account,
That's all done through that PCN, that payment network
Okay.
that's been used for many years here, so.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of a charge to do that, though.
Depends on your bank and depends how if you're using a credit card or a debit card, it's more than if you use a check or a ACH through them,
Oh,
so,
it depends on your bank.
yeah. And the fees can vary on a credit card too, why, I don't know, but that's all them, that's,
Oh.
just our agreement for them to do it, so.
maybe you don't know, John, are we staying more current now? Being that it's,
I think it's gotten better, yeah, there's still some of the normal, late payers are still there, but seems like what I've heard is, yeah, it's better.
all right,
Getting in the motion of paying every month now too, instead of.
yeah,
Every,
and that might take half the summer. But. Okay, miscellaneous business, safe step.
don't know.
Okay. MF or MCFO March 18th to the 21st,
That's
24th, that must be first.
Sue, her continuing education, that 3-year certification for becoming a new clerk through,
Is that up in St. Cloud or in that area or
I
Alexandria or?
think this was in St. Cloud, I think, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Well, we need to make a motion. Does she have any expenses about it would be or not?
I do not know. There will be what was it last year? Alex Hotel, and then I think the conference costs like $250.
I was thinking $300 or something.
Yeah, something.
So it'll cost $500, but I mean, do we need to make a motion now to have her attend and the city will pick up the cost of driving, everything?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Okay. So we want to make that a motion then that, Sue attend the meeting from the 18th of March to the 24th
I can make that motion,
with the expenses being picked up by the
Yeah.
city.
as long as it's going to prolong her license or whatever for
Yeah,
licensing
it's a-
agreement.
Yeah.
Jim made a motion, someone a second?
Oh.
Seconded.
Scott second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I oppose, motion carried. Clerk PTO, April 3rd to the 7th.
Yes, we'll be gone
Some
sometime.
time off, yeah.
Do we have to have a motion to approve that or
No,
just notifying us?
Yeah, I check in every week or so and I sign her
Okay.
forms already, so.
All right. Mileage, is that for the past one that I've seen here?
Yeah, COG meeting,
Yeah,
thanks run. To and fro from Christie.
yeah. Somebody want to make a motion to pay clerk mileage,
I'll make that motion.
travel expense, it is here for 8260. That's the one, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
John made the motion, someone a second.
I'll second it.
Oh, we got Amy here.
No, sorry, that's fine.
Amy seconded, all in favor, say aye.
I
Aye, opposed, motion carried.
think that was it. I think, I didn't get a second page on my agenda, so I'm assuming the next part was it.
I did too.
I don't know if I should say anything here, but, if there's a chance of somebody building some houses out on Hiller Drive along that gravel road, Is the city in favor of running water and sewer out there? If this individual wants to build 6, 8 houses along there, affordable houses. You know, this was all kind of come up last week. You know, what would it cost the city? Well, it's gonna cost us what? $200,000-300,000? I don't know, something like that.
Is that still within the city limit? I don't know where
Yeah,
the city
the
limit.
whole thing is.
The whole thing is.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Well, they actually need sewer and water out there too.
Well, that's what I mean.
Everything, yeah.
You'd have to apply for a sewer extension and a water extension for the Department of Health and the MPCA both.
Now that we've cut down a lot, I and I, would they ever not allow us to because of it, or?
Not for a residential house.
We're pumping only like 35,000 gallons a day now. That's it.
I wonder what happens when it gets warmer though and it rains.
No, I mean pumping from the well.
Oh,
Yeah, our water usage is way down.
yeah,
We're fixing all these leaks as they happen and it's made a huge difference.
I thought them meters were very spendy, you know, we should have maybe been, but they've proved themselves.
Found another one last week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that would, the customer had a leak, Get Liquor's place. During that cold snap, they had a pipe in the garage that froze. And then when it warmed up, it just started blasting. And, our software and it told me that there was a leak. I noticed it, Sue noticed it. I went and pulled, 450 days readings and you could see the chart like that. And then it came down and it was good. And so I said to Sue, they must have already fixed it. Then they called up here. Yep, had a broken pipe. We already fixed it. We saw that like right away. I read meters. I read meters today. We're reading them every Monday. And so you never go more than 7 days without catching something that's wrong.
Mhm.
And if there's a big burst like that one, don't you get a notification that?
Yeah, Leak Detect has part of the software, measures gallons usage. And the other part listens for noise.
Okay,
And so when it hears that noise, that leak detect report only comes once a week. Unless I would specifically go in there every day and look and see if there is anything. But yeah, you'd never really go more than 7 days without a notification of one or the other.
right.
So it's really nice. It's,
How would you go about applying for what you said? What do we need?
Water
A permit.
extension.
your engineer, whoever engineers your sewer and water and your water, you wouldn't and I wouldn't. It's, when you hire the contractor to do the work, to install, they will have to go get all the permits ahead of time. So it's really up to the contractor to get the permits to do the extensions.
Cause our extension part would be only to the curb. From the curb out,
You'd have to put a main
homeowner.
and probably what fire hydrants out there. And, sewer, probably a manhole.
Yeah, it'd all have to be engineered, but again, would we take that step to expand Good Thunder?
Why not?
I would sure think so, you know.
If you get 6 people that have interest, they sure wouldn't want to part of that. Tell them no.
That grant thing was, I think, to
Loop that
Loop
around
that out
there,
there, so.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard the Minnesota legislature hasn't moved at all this year because,
I think they're broke.
Yeah, but everything's in,
yeah, I've been meaning to look that up and I haven't yet. but
Yeah, I bet you there won't be any,
We'll probably have to wait till next spring for next go around. I've been just kind of assuming, but I've been meaning to look that up. on it.
but as you know, this would all be new expansion, new area. It's just something a guy needs to ask if this individual wants to pursue, you know?
Mhm.
And I guess we haven't bonded for anything for, my gosh. We paid off the lagoon bond here, what, 3 years ago, maybe, John, right? when you came?
It was before I came on council. It was-
Okay.
It's been done
So
before.
we haven't you remember, we haven't had any bonding that we have to make payments to for at least 4 or 5 years, so.
When I bought my place in St. Clair that time, they had made that new subdivision on the edge of town. And they put in curb gutter, they did the whole thing. And then they made a deal, they put out the word out that contractors could come and build a home on that lot and sell it and wouldn't have to pay for the lot until they sold the house. And so the contractors, mine was a spec house that a contractor built, brand new. But they had the streets, the tar, the curb stops,
Yeah.
they were all plotted, the whole deal.
Do we have to bond when they put that cul-de-sac in up by my place?
Yeah,
You know,
but that's been
That would-
paid off for many years. Yeah. And you know, Brian brought up a good point. We have to have street up there too, also.
You'd have to what?
Have a street, too. So, yeah, you would be talking millions of dollars now by the time you get that done, but hey. If you got somebody that wants to build something out there and maybe keep adding to it. I sure wouldn't deter it for a while anyway.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
well, there's that. There's that, kind of that, we're out by the, storage sheds. Ain't that big void there, ain't that for a street?
Yeah, yeah,
Does your property jog?
yeah,
So
yeah,
the
it could,
street
that
would
street
make-
could run straight south.
It can?
It could,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
Yeah.
there to the end of Kelvin's property.
yeah.
Yep. So. It's just something I guess I wanted to bring up to see if, pursue it. Time comes.
Yeah, I'm a little more. Probably want to touch base with a real estate lawyer, make sure we're dotting all the i's and crossing all the t's before we jump in and commit too, but.
Yeah,
Well, it'd all have to be engineered, and the way it sounds, these
Yeah.
houses would be slab on grade. They wouldn't be having a basement. I don't know. How does that go over in this area, Amy? Do you?
It depends. I mean,
There, the idea of it is to make them more affordable.
they're cheaper that way, yeah.
affordable and
Basement.
better for elderly,
Elderly, yeah,
because then you don't have to worry about.
Or- just starter home, maybe.
Starter homes, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll depend on,
That's a little wetter up there on that corner too, isn't it? Or is it more to the
Well,
north?
yeah, north a little bit, yeah.
maybe it would be good for elderly, because I know that there's been a few people in town that are, ready to,
Downsize a
Well,
little
the-
bit, maybe find.
The
something.
individual, I told him, if you take all them houses and just keep facing them south, and then if you want to make a second row, just have that southern exposure, your driveways just melt off so nice in the winter. You have a row face south and a row facing north. Do you know what kind of snow you're gonna get in
Yeah,
that
it's gonna
one
be-
facing north?
yeah.
Tunnel.
No, just keep facing them south. If you had to put another street in, you gotta put another street in.
Yeah,
It's a good tip.
But it would be, especially up there where there's nothing to stop the wind. So we'll see what happens with that.
Did one side of the street, you could have an alleyway and then run all the sewer and water.
Yeah,
Alleyway.
yeah,
Or make a
absolutely,
loop, yeah.
yeah. All right, well,
is there anything else too, I
We
guess?
were talking about building, well, how's up by your shop, two that he built. Did you hear any on them?
them two, I don't know if I should, them two are sold. There probably won't be a third one because the individual bought the whole spot. And he just wants grass in between the new sheds now.
Oh,
So, and
that was quick.
the house will probably be gone by. They have to be out by May 31st. So that'll all be cleaned up. The house will be tore down, property will be cleaned up, and the individual wanted grass back in it. So,
That's fine too.
If he bought it, it's his, he can do it, what he wants to.
so,
Since I've been on council, I guess my only other question is, I've not heard a lot of conversation about the school.
I know it.
Is there anything, anybody heard
Last
anything?
we heard. Didn't we have an update like late summer last year and
Yeah.
what's his name?
drummer,
Drummer was supposed to start sometime this winter.
this winter, I did see there on Beacon, believe it or not, Robert got on there, that the taxes went down tremendously. I think that's from the time he bought it till now payable. It went down a lot. I think that was a holdup, so.
Maybe
I
they're
hope he
moving
comes in
forward.
this spring and gets going because I see. Is there more windows getting broke?
Vandalism hotspot right now.
It is because I see the plywood's falling down and that's not good.
No, I can't let it sit and just.
So I mean, yeah,
Capitate.
I guess when Sue gets better, she just needs to start emailing them and tell them, we need some answers. People are wondering,
Some updates.
an update, yeah. Anybody else with miscellaneous? Anything? spring's coming. We're trying to attempt to clean up everything.
That would be nice.
I just saw this project,
Oh, yeah.
city park, that's all of it or just repairs?
Out here in front. I don't know. Sue must have got this.
It's 4 inch and 5 inch.
I see that. Yeah,
That seems awful cheap. To take care of that all complete.
yeah.
That's why I was wondering if it just patch and repair the path.
No, I think it was complete
Really?
renewal.
Seems fairly reasonable, ain't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With all the rebars.
It's very reasonable. While we're talking about that, do we pursue insulating the old side or the south side of the city shop? So we can expand?
I don't have a problem with it, but I would say let's get through seal coating and the parking lot first, and then we have time. I mean, if
Yeah.
we don't do it this year, we can do it next year, because we're talking about expanding
Yep,
this too.
yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Just so we don't get in front of our skis.
Same with the bell tower, renovating that, we should have it kind of checked over if it's, we're spending,
oh, it isn't, it's hung up in the air there for what, 100 years.
you know.
I think everything underneath is okay, but it just, it's not been taken care of. The hedge needs to go away, maybe do some lattice and, put some
Different railing.
stuff around it or whatever.
Well, I've been thinking about that bell tower park too. I'd kind of like to see, because there's an old painted World War II memorial for all the people that served in World War II. There's maybe work with the American Legion and see if we want to turn it into
Oh,
Veterans Bell Tower Park.
Veterans Park.
There you go.
Take that, get somebody to copy all those names off that wood, because that thing's just weathering.
Yes, it is. Yep.
So we can preserve those names and make like a plaque for World War II. I mean, those names aren't gonna change, and I think, don't we have a Korean one somewhere too, maybe? I don't know, but anyway, have a,
It's a good idea,
That'd
John.
be really nice.
Turn that into a veterans park.
Yes.
Turn it into a veterans park and, I think they usually have some funds available to help.
mhm.
And make it something down there and. And then we had that, plastic thing and them two rocks.
Yeah, we were gonna look at removing that this year. I think that's something we need to probably have Eli look at once we get
Kinda
started.
it's kinda
Would we take the rocks down and everything?
I don't know, but
Wonder if he can incorporate a new sign into there.
maybe, I don't know. But that thing looks like it's eventually gonna fall out of that stand
Yep,
You know,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Scott. They'll use those rocks to hold something else up in there though, a sign or something, because those rocks are nice.
and they got a groove cut in them, if I remember right.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Pinched together, they pinched together and they bowed that plexiglass
That,
out.
that bowed on its own.
Did it?
It
really?
started originally flat
Yeah,
because of the sunlight or
I think
whatever.
I think it's probably just heat damage over
Yeah,
the years.
yeah, it was,
I thought maybe the rocks did this.
no, it bowed from being exposed to the ultraviolet stuff. But
Yeah, that
yeah,
used to be really clear, now it's kind of discoloring.
Unfaded and stuff, yeah.
I can talk to one of the guys here and ask them, what they think of that, and kind of make it their corner.
Cause yeah, we can reach out, get one for Korean vets and then, from there Vietnam. And then just do one
Yeah.
for like military members that did, when I was in Colorado. And they had Veterans Memorial Bridge in Pueblo and they gave the option for residents to pay $25 and you get your name on a
Little.
little
Yeah.
Donor,
metal plate, brass
Yep.
plate, and then it's all attached, all around in there. You could make a few different designs for,
The different eras.
When you go to their memorial service, boy, they name off a lot
Yeah,
of
they do.
people from this
good
area,
thunder,
a
mhm.
lot.
There's a lot of names just from World War II.
Yep,
There's
and
probably
there's,
over 100, I bet, on that thing.
they name off the Korean War, right? I think they name the Vietnam and Afghan, they name off a lot of stuff and there could be an area for which one served and which.
That'd be nice.
Yep,
Yeah.
well, good idea, John.
Tom Bruns is the commander on that. I think we could easily get some information from him.
Yeah, I think that was a good idea too.
All right, anything else with people? Council?
Just have a few tabled for next month, so
All righty. Jesus, this would be a record.
it is a record.
Fine by me.
Maybe, would you like to make a motion to adjourn?
Making a motion to adjourn.
All right, someone to second?
I will second it.
All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, motion carried. Thanks, everybody.
Pemberton's been looking for a clerk for 8 weeks. They can't